Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Cubetractor, The Art of Pulling Cubes by developer Ludochip. A little tough to classify this one exactly into some sort of a genre, but it's somewhere falling around like action meets slight strategy and maybe a little tower defense, but I wouldn't go so far as to actually call it a tower defense game. There's just an element that involves compiling cubes to essentially create towers that will defend you, so to speak. Anyway, I think probably the best way to really demonstrate this one is to actually just show it off. So as always, let's just jump into the game. I do want to show off the credits though very briefly. There are our developers, and I unfortunately am going to kind of rush past that. But then back over to our options menu, and then we'll actually jump into the game. I've spent about 20 minutes or so with this just to get acclimated. I wanted to make sure this wasn't going to be like over my head or anything, because sometimes with these sorts of games that are a little tough to classify, it can be very difficult to just jump into them and have, you know, basically no idea what's going on and try and figure it out on the fly and speak at the same time. Thankfully, it's not super complicated and they tutorialize things very well. But we're going to start back at square one here, tutorial one rather. Cube exercise. You know how much I love cubes, right? So you should probably have a good idea about my feelings on this game already. Not that I'm biased or anything, but I actually really like the graphical aesthetic and the music to this. Really well done stuff. It seems to fall somewhere in between like 8 and 16-bit aesthetic, probably leaning closer to the 16-bit element. It reminds me a little bit of Offspring Fling, which is a really good thing because I really like that look actually. And in general, I find it quite charming because it also has this slightly more, I don't think polished is the right word, but more produced looking UI stuff going on, so that falls really nicely with the lower res retro style graphics when it comes to the actual game. So that is Endroy. I aspire to be a famous heroic Cubetractor. I will manipulate cubes like a wizard and rid the lands of all meanies. Cube Maker says, excellent, you can start with some chores, like washing these cubes I made in the water. Go, do. Alright, first tutorial. So we play as Endroy right up here, or a spidery looking kind of robot. Actually reminds me a little bit of the robot from Mechdroid. And he actually seems to have, it looks like a little flag on the side of his head, which I know is probably just an antenna, but it actually reminds me a little bit of like a mailbox flag. It's all pretty cute actually, and there's a lot of little charming elements to this that give the game character. Alright, tutorial 1 complete. This is not really anything challenging, but I have a feeling this game gets pretty hard. From the little bit that I played, I actually felt like already by about level 4 or so, it started to get a little bit challenging. Nothing that I couldn't handle, but it required a little bit of strategy, a little bit of thinking. It's not a game that you can just necessarily rush into. So we've already got an examination. I'm not sure if we're like in robot school for cube manipulating or something, but we're going for an examination. The story for me is a little bit fuzzy. Not sure I really particularly, you know, I'm too enamored with it or anything, but, you know, it gets the job done. And I'm sure if you really invest yourself in the story, maybe it does get rewarding later on. Anyway, right now it's just providing framework for us to move through the levels, which is totally fine. So Endroys, this is my first exam. I'll have to find a way out of the moat and smash any meanies along the way. Who let these bots out in the courtyard? Alright, cool. So, this is where we learn that cubes can actually function as sort of like projectiles. Of course, that didn't actually work. So we need to make sure that we line them up with the baddies. And of course, I just steered it out of the way at the last moment. Let's get a little bit closer to these blocks, shall we? I think that'll work a little bit more nicely. Come on, guys. Why do you have to be so hard to... There we go. Alright, that one worked. And I think I got a battery out of that. Yeah, and we gotta collect those. Oh, and I hit myself with the cube. That is the thing that I always find is a little tricky with this game. You end up hitting yourself with cubes constantly. There we go. Alright, picked up that last battery. And I think part of the skill that's required to be good at this game is understanding how to, like, best position yourself not to hit yourself with cubes. Nice to see Endroy doing some maintenance work by the Stockwells. What? He's not allowed to be near the Stockwells. Well, I'm here anyway, right? Then what's he doing? I don't know, I'm crazy. I'm a crazy robot. Alright, tough barriers like these take several cube hits to destroy. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to try and pull them real fast so they don't actually regenerate, because you'll see their health bars start to tick back up again. So you gotta hit them in sequence. I technically didn't really need to kill the other one, but, you know, I do want the battery. And you also be aware when they break, the last block that hits through them is actually going to still keep moving. So that's something to watch also, otherwise you're going to end up taking a hit off of that last block, which I'm sure you don't want to do. And that one hopefully will revive blocks just in time for me to hit that again. That might not work, actually. If I wait too long, it's not going to work. I got to do it one more time to get the full. There we go. 7 out of 15 batteries, gold in 2 minutes. It looks like I might have made that. Andrew wasn't out there fixing up the stock walls, he just tore them down. What a jerk he is. Anyway, I think we just got a gold medal. Oh no, there's another part. Alright, I'll switch on the cannon maybe. That'll shut him down. Oh, that won't stop me, I'll just dodge the bullets. Fair enough. So I've got some wrenches here for repairs. And this is one of those tower-esque type thingies that I mentioned. Let's see if we can possibly steer some of these enemies into the blocks, as we like to do. And this is just the beginning of the conventions. There's a lot more to it than this. They dole out new gameplay styles little by little, and I think it actually comes at a pretty nice pace. Not that the game, like I said, is particularly complicated or anything, but there is enough to it that there's some depth that's going to require you to take a few minutes with to really get a handle on. Oops, I didn't mean to grab that one. What I could do, though, if I was feeling particularly crafty, is I could actually do a little bit of cube fusing here. Although I'm not going to. I'm just going to proceed on to the next area. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to do that going forward. A little blue bot sure has a mind of his own. You assembled him, yep. That was fun. I'm Wasums. Really like the music in this game. It's a very nice backdrop for what's going on, and I think it complements the graphical aesthetic very nicely. Just shy of the next rank on that one, so I got a silver medal. Good enough for me. So I believe I read there's something like 40 levels in total, which is plenty to get, you know, a good handle on what's going on, and then I'm sure it gets very challenging towards the end. From what I played, it was only like 4 or 5 levels in, so I'm still quite a ways away from seeing how deep the game gets. But I liked what I saw. Here you'll learn how to combine cubes to build structures using robo-magical powers of the Cubetractors. Alright, and then we've got turrets. What does View Tech do? I actually haven't checked that out. Okay, so we can actually investigate some of what these things are. So you can see down where it says combination, we've got these two. They look like claw marks, essentially, on those. I'm not sure what they're actually supposed to represent. Maybe just earth or something. So if you combine 2 of the same block, we're going to get that out of it. And we were basically going to be doing that anyway, so let's check that out. I should mention, of course, this game is on Steam right now, and I will be putting the links in the description at the end, so, of course, if you want to check this one out yourself, you definitely will want to click into the description and see what's there. Okay, Andrew, you're free to run as you like, but one condition, you're not allowed to merge cubes. You need to be trained under a mentor for that, so, yeah, I'm going to go merge some cubes now. I just said you're not allowed to. Okay, well, kind of sealed your own fate on that one, buddy. Sorry. So we're going to grab cubes from both directions and make some towers. Wow, and actually completely botched that. So yeah, if you walk into the path of those blocks, you end up not only hurting yourself, but also negating the fact that you would just build a tower right out of that. There is a small, like, pickup time for the towers to be built, so you'll see that is another factor. We built 3 cannons, and now they are going to enter, like, sentry defense mode, and basically just shoot at everything that they see. The one problem, of course, being that the enemies are so far away, it takes a second for them to kind of home in on them. Do I actually need to destroy the blocks as well? Probably not, but I think the towers are going to do it anyway, because they're very obstinate. So I guess I will just destroy these, because it wants me to. Approach a structure and press X, or if you're using the 360 controller, as I am, press B. By the way, native 360 controller support, if I haven't said that already. Always a thing that I value. Just the fact that you don't have to sit super close to your monitor is kind of nice for me anyway. And it, you know, it controls pretty well. Why that malfunctioning chunk of scrap? Nicely done. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so it looks like, what, another silver medal? Am I even getting medals for this? I think it was just a you've completed the level medal. Alright, so we're going to head on to Examination 2 Cannon Creek. And And I think this should probably be enough to get a good idea of what this game's about, although, like I said, things get more and more elaborate. Different blocks are introduced, different types of towers, different ways to progress through the levels, and the strategy gets further down as you go. More deep, I should say. A true Cubetractor must complete his examinations by saving these batteries from bad red things. And this be the second one. I'm doing this. Alright. So let's save from the bad red things. First, we're going to avoid some bullets. So there is a little bit of dexterity required here. Oh, okay, I guess if you don't pull them, they won't actually activate, which means you can't really do anything with them. Let's get some batteries then. Nice, nice, cool. So you gotta pull, turn, pull, and then pull, pull. Oh, and not walk into them like I just did again. That tower is gonna probably get taken out pretty fast. And one more time. And we should have enough of a little armada here that we should be able to fend off this one single tower. Not like it was supposed to be particularly difficult or anything, but, you know, just getting acclimated still. One thing that I find might be kind of nice for a game like this, and I know this might not be necessarily, like, conducive to the story or anything, but if there was a way to, like, dash out of the way, because I find myself often stuck in a position where I need to, you know, pull a cube, turn, pull another cube, and by the time I've turned and pulled, the first cube I pulled is almost about to hit me, and sometimes if you just flub the movement on the analog stick just slightly, you end up just taking a hit and blowing the entire, like, catalyzation of that tower, which, as you get further in, is more and more important. So, you know, having a little dash move that, like, automatically shoots you out to the direction you flick in. Maybe if you put a dash on the right stick, and I don't even know if maybe this isn't something they haven't already added to the game and maybe unlock later on, but the ability to very quickly get out of the way of stuff seems like it would make a lot of sense in this game. That's just my 2 cents anyway. Being a Cubetractor is more than just charging straight into the fray. It's about the adept use of your optical sensors and artificial intelligence. In other words, I shall have to look out for crafty alternatives. That is correct. So there is a bit of emergent gameplay that goes on, and although these might seem like puzzles at first, I think strategy does take the greater role in the long run here. So we should, yeah, we smashed through that. If I was fast enough, I probably could have made a tower out of that guy. Unfortunately, I was not, so I actually have to do it the slow way here, although, oh, just kind of blown that again. Actually, I don't even really need to do that. I could actually just use these blocks like I did with the other one, if I wouldn't stop freaking running into them constantly. I promise you, it's not that hard to control this, it's just for some reason I have, like, trouble with it a little bit. Alright, so let's pull both of these blocks and grab these batteries before they regenerate, and then I'm going to have to grab that repair kit also. What am I going to need to do about this? So we've got some blocks in the way. Well, I guess what I can do is what I was trying to do before, make a tower. And as long as they stand out of the way... Oh, wow, okay, I kind of didn't realize that would happen. I thought I'd be able to make 2 towers there, but that didn't quite work. Now, let's try that again. Alright, so that should form and blow up those blocks over there. You can pull cubes from behind enemies. Can I pull cubes over here? Can I pull these 2? Yeah, it looks like I can. Use that to slowly smash through one of the other blocks, so it take a little bit less time. And then we've got a couple more meandering enemies over there. The pattern on the block actually reminds me a little bit of something like Meteos, which is kind of a funny thing. I haven't thought about that game in a while, but it was one of my favorite puzzle games. I just barely got out of the way on that one. I think I might be pulling them often in the wrong order. Oh, that was a twofer there, I appreciate that. Yeah, just shoot the wrong tower for a minute, and then I'll be able to just, you know, smash you into bits. So that works out pretty nicely. One more battery, and we are off. That went okay. Could have gone better, though. Oh, good. He won't survive this one. There's plenty of firepower on our end. Not unless he builds more cannons that then we can shoot down. Whose side are you on, anyway? Alright, second exam, part 3 of 3. Plenty more wrenches in case I need them, but we're just going to try and focus on towers for the most part here, and I'm going to try and just keep building. Oh man, I did it again. This is exactly what you want to avoid doing in this game, is basically just walking into blocks. Nothing but heartache awaits. Alright, there we go, took that guy out. Although he also took out my tower. There we go. Few somewhat well-executed towers there in a row. Sometimes you actually want to build them in a particular pattern, like, so you can predict where the blocks are going to come together. Alright, see if we can lure this enemy out, perhaps. Can we do that? Yeah, you come over here. You're pretty silly. You're not not thinking too well about the firing squad you're wandering into. And 4, there we go. So that's all of the towers. Should make pretty quick work. Looks like I got an achievement out of that. Although the towers they're summoning are actually very strong. They seem to be able to cut through mine very quickly. Maybe one more wave of that, and we should be good to go. So sometimes you can actually build towers that are used more defensively just to put them in the way of the enemy fire. Or even just pull a whole bunch of blocks just to have something to deflect the bullets. That was intense. I'm awesomes. Okay. Now, things are still going pretty well. How many batteries did I get out of that? I got 100% of the batteries. Time fast? Okay, I didn't feel like I did it that fast, but 100% should put me... I got to silver. Alright, cool. I thought the other one was silver. That looks more like bronze to me. Regardless, it looks like I have plenty more stars to earn as I progress forward into this one. So I have a branching path here. I can either take the orthogonal projection path or the cross junction. I'm going to go to the tutorial because I think I need all the tutorials I can get. So here you learn how to defend against a barrage of cannon fire, and we've got, it looks like a new type of cube if I research this. Earthform cubes are valued for their endurance and reliability. They are used in the creation of all support structures. So those are defensive, toughness, protection, and then we've got this support block, which I believe is just going to be a barrier for us. Armored shield provides cover from enemy fire. Alright, let's do one more round here. It is nice to add a few new elements. Aha! Smarts are needed here. So this is where we're going to actually have to do a little bit of strategic pulling. So we're going to pull 2 earth cubes together to build a barrier. So we're going to pull, get out of here, out of the way, and... Oh, I turned just at the wrong moment there and kind of botched that. So let's get in position, pull, and there we go. There's a barrier. Now we can do this in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be each of these corners, provided that they find each other is really all that matters. Something like that'll work, or something like this will work. So as you can see, there's tons of different ways that you could now use these abilities to form structures, in essence. So there is definitely some strategic pulling and dexterity required here to be able to have the timing and precision necessary, especially when you're being fired upon, to put these things all in order. You know, the element of pressure definitely does add a little bit of an element of chaos. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not always simple. Alright, let's do examination 3. I keep saying I'm going to end it, but I just want to see where they go with this. My 3rd exam awaits me. Can't you do something about this? He's running around causing trouble. I don't want to. He's so kind of fun to watch. He is kind of fun to watch. I really like this. The characters are definitely pretty quirky and silly. Alright, so what do I do with this? So I can pull blocks through these barriers, I assume, since they are essentially more of the same. And if I do this fast enough, I should be able to smash those, and I did. There we go. Goes right through that enemy and into the barrier again. I really don't need to worry too much about this, but I can choose to if I want. Can we get another cube over here, please? There we go. Now, what happens if I were to... I kind of want to combine different types of cubes. I mean, obviously they want me to combine these structures. Oh, see, I'm just doing damage to my own structures, so you don't want to overdo it, and you end up just doing yourself a disservice. And there we go, build a couple of towers, should be able to fire on their barricades, and we'll just keep rebuilding the barricades over and over again. This is more like a timing game, if anything. And you just want to make sure that the barricades land in front of wherever your towers end up, of course, so you want to try and skew it in your own favor. See, right there, I sort of missed that opportunity, so I'm going to end up losing my towers more quickly. Not that I would necessarily compare this game in very many respects to Dota, but there is a whole tower manipulation and like a strategic element when it comes to how you want to handle the metagame. You know, you actually need to be thinking a few steps ahead if you want to actually, you know, go very far with this. Granted, again, these strategies at this point are super simple, but all the framework is here for there to be some pretty deep gameplay going on. Just want to keep grabbing those batteries whenever they show up, and we'll move on to the next room. Nicely done, very nice. CubeMaker says, you made him, isn't there self-destruct or something? Nope. Who in their right mind places self-destruct option on things they like anyway? Yeah, whose side are they on? Ace will just sit back and hope Enjoy smashes more cubes into his face. He will, though, so don't worry. He's being controlled by me. Alright, so we need some good timing here. What we need to do is start building barricades around the edge here if we can. That is not actually what I meant to do at all. Hopefully it will... Nope, didn't do anything. Oh, and that answers my question of what happens if you try to build an earth cube and the original type of cube together. Basically nothing, they just break each other. Alright, so let's try and pull this now that that enemy is out of the way in such a manner... Oh, well, timing was totally off there. Pull, pull. That's gonna actually still miss. I need to pull sooner with this side than this side. Oh, come on. The new block came and then it blew my timing again. Not again. I can't seem to make this work. Alright, that was exactly wrong. I have to keep moving, and then all the time I spend readjusting ends up becoming a problem for me. Oh, I did it again. I need to pull this one way, way sooner. And wait. And when this is getting close, pull this one as well. Still missed. My timing is very, very poor. Not in everything, just at the moment. That was very close. Still no cigar. Try that, maybe. That'll work. Barely, though. And it looks like this is firing so slowly on my barricades, I should actually have enough time to make this tower. And it looks like my barricade even starts to regenerate a little bit of health each time, which is good news for me. Alright, cool. So those guys are done for. What can I do here? I can smash a block into my face for one. And then I can actually just pull a bunch of cubes at that tower. It did not take long to go down. Let's get this enemy on our case a little bit, and then we can pull this earth cube and run. There we go. Now, we want to make some more barricades, of course. This is going to be a little bit easier, I presume. All we really need to do is set this one off, and there we go. Now, what's going to be tricky, though, is timing this one to line up. Okay, that actually worked out reasonably well. And then we want to do one more over the top. You have to be splitting up everything into, like, halves of halves of halves to try and see when the right moment to pull is. So, like, when you see that space, break it in half, and then right about there is when you should pull the other block, and then they'll, you know, come together. Since everything's moving at the same speed, I mean. So, another level finished, and I think that's the end of this challenge, right? Or is there one more? Oh, it looks like there's another one. Alright, well, this looks tough. Shouldn't be a problem for a bot like me. Alright, this is part 3 of 3. Got ahead of myself again. Alright, lots and lots of bullets filling the screen here. We want to make barricades very, very quickly. And I do, of course, need to be aware, oh man, of the fact that if I get stuck in the wrong spot, I mean, thankfully there's some invincibility frames, but you can set yourself up to get almost stun-locked sometimes. No, get back in the way of these blocks, please. No, that's not what I meant to do. I wanted to pull that one further in. Nope, nope, there we go. Alright, thankfully there's a few wrenches for me. Let's get over here and pull. Oh, geez, I totally... Alright, there we go. At least I grabbed it at the very last moment. See if we can put a tower behind that. That is not how I meant to do that at all. We want to pull this one first, and then pull that. Hopefully that range is not too far. I'm not sure. It might actually be, yeah, way too far. Plus, the amount of bullets right now on screen are definitely overwhelming. So we really need to get those barricades in order. Shouldn't even be hard to do. The blocks as they're traveling even are enough to stop them. So now it... Oh, I probably should have taken a hit there. Thankfully I didn't somehow. When in doubt, I can just keep pulling the same blocks around. What I could try to do, though, if I want to be super smart, is I can actually try and flank them and just pull some blocks over here. That way we can remove some of the bullets from the equation. And what else can I do? It doesn't seem to be that there's a whole lot I can pull on this side. Since I can't like bend them around corners or anything, so at least I just removed the one there. And then we'll do a little bit of masterful pulling, I guess. And hopefully those barricades will last just long enough for me to maybe at least kill one of the towers. Or one of the barricades, at least. Looks like that might work. Just Barely, yes. Alright, so now we're actually doing damage to the enemy tower, although only for a moment. And those are back. Should have made the barricades again, because they're just going to tear through everything. And really just wasting time when I do that. Could stagger this and everything, basically just alternate when I build the barricades. Not sure how much that would really help, though. No, I think it's actually only going to cause me harm to do that, so let's wait until everything comes back. Pull, pull. Pull, oh, pull, get hit. Break. Pull, pull. Pull, pull. Nope, pull, missed that other cube. Alright, that was a bit of a mess, but the idea still remains. Alright, those cubes are down. Let's pull again. Tower's down. And, alright, there's one. Now, if we can just get one more tower in enough time, I think we're going to be fine. Pull the barricades again. I know I made something that should probably have taken me about 1 minute, take about 5, but, you know, still we're learning. And there we go. Got the other barricade and the other tower. Now there's just the, what is this, the power source, the generator, I think they were calling it. And that is down. So that would be game on that one. That really did not go well at all, and I missed 2 batteries somehow. That was a success against overwhelming odds, kind of. Kind of. Alright, 92% and 734. They're saying that's fast. I don't know if that felt too fast to me. I took 6 hits of damage, and I got a single star. And the path branches off yet again, but I think this is a pretty good moment for us to wrap things up. So that was Cubetractor, available right now on Steam. If you want to check this out, please feel free to. The link for the game is going to be right in the description. Give it a look. I think it's actually really cool. It's worth your time. You gotta like this style of gameplay, and of course there is a little bit of frustration possibly if you just keep hitting yourself in the face with blocks, but I would say that's probably more user error than anything. I think really the only thing that I would say would have been a really nice touch, like I said earlier, is to have some sort of a dodge option, but again, I don't even know if maybe that's not something that's in the game. But regardless, for what's here, well done, well done. I really enjoyed it. In terms of graphics, gameplay, core mechanics, visuals, well, I said graphics already, and audio, I think it really comes together as a pretty nice package, and one that came kind of out of nowhere. I really didn't know much about this game. It showed up, Northern Lion told me about it, you know, I was kind enough to get a copy for review from the developers, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So that is going to do it for another episode, guys. As always, remember to head on over to my website, which is indie-impressions.com, if you want to stay up on everything that's going on in the channel. They're neatly sorted over there, over 430 episodes now. So if you want to peruse some of the different categories, genres, tags, it's all available. I've also got some forums over there, so feel free to start a conversation. I also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions, if you'd like to get in contact with me over there, or if you just want to stay up on everything that's going on at the channel, occasional streaming announcements, game giveaways, contests, and all that good stuff. You know, hop on over, it just takes a second. Lastly, if you're an indie dev or you just want to get in contact with me for whatever reason, I do have a contact form over on indie-impressions.com, so feel free to send me an email about the possibility of looking at your game if you're an indie dev, or if you just have a suggestion, that's fine too. Or even quicker, if you just want to you know, reach me in 140 characters or less, I do have a Twitter handle, which is @RockLeeSmile. Pretty much on there every day, so if you want to grab me quickly, that is one way to do it. But that is going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to check out the social media links and the game link in the description. Hopefully I'll come back tomorrow for another episode, because I do a new one every single day, without fail. Been going for over a year and, what is it, a couple of months now. And with your support, hopefully things will continue to move onward and upward. So please, if you want to help out the channel, best way you can do it, tell a friend. You know, if you know anyone that likes indie games, wants to check out some strange, obtuse games that maybe they haven't heard of, or, you know, stuff that's usually off the beaten path, although I do like to cover occasional, more mainstream games, you know, recommend my channel. That's all I could really say. It's really all I could ask for in terms of support. So, I do appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Come back again tomorrow, and I will see you later. Have a good night.